Oh, hi everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to look at a method called reduce in JavaScript. So as previously we discussed about map and filter, which are used to filter out elements, and map is used to transform each element in an array, right? So in this reduce method, what we have to achieve is we have to convert an iterable or an array, convert an iterable or an array into a single output. So the output is not necessarily an array all the time. It should be converted to an output. For example, we have this array, const array equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And we want the output as the sum of all these elements, right? The output should be 15, right? So that's what we're going to achieve using reduce method. So the syntax is as follows: array.reduce, and it takes a callback. So first of all, I write the syntax callback, and second argument is the accumulator, right? Because when you want to sum all the elements, you need to declare accumulator, and which will initialize to 0 initially, right? And as you go in through this array, then you keep adding the current element to the accumulator, right? So this is how we find the sum, right? So when we have traversed the entire array, what we will get in our hand is the accumulator, which will be the sum of all these elements. Initially it's 0. This is the callback. So in this callback we can do some multiplication or any operation, right? So in this example we are doing sum of all elements. So we can create a function here like this, a current accumulator. So I'll explain what it is in a moment. Alright, so accumulator is this thing 0, and current is the current element which we are looping over, right? This in the array, and you simply have to return accumulator plus current, right? And what it will do is simply loop over this array, and we'll see it has 1, so it will add 1 plus 0, it will be 1. And when we go up to this point, it will say 2 plus 1, because so far we have accumulator as 1, so it will be 3. And then we come here, this part 3, then we will do 3 plus 3, because so far we had 3, right? So it will be 6. Now we come here, we will do 4 plus 6, because it has been reduced to 6, right? And then we will do, it will be 10. Then we come here, we say 5 plus 10, it will be 15, and the output will turn into an integer, right? So the output will be the type of accumulator that will be passed here as the second argument, right? I'll undo it. Okay, and we can do current plus accumulator plus current, right? And it will take return a new array. We'll say sum of each element, and console log it. Okay, so output is 15 now. Now let's take an example of something else other than an array of number. We can also take a people array, and it will contain objects like persons. We will have John and age, let's say 25. You can simply copy and paste. Alright, let's say it is Robert, Peter, 28, 29, 30, and let's take another object the same age as Robert. So age is 29. So what you want to do is you want to simply group this array into an object, right? So the output should be like 25, it will be a key, and it will have the list of all those persons who are 25. We only have one person, which is John. So as for 29, we only have one person, sorry, two. So it will have a list of 29 will be the key, and the value will be a list of these two people, Emily and Robert. And as for Peter, 30 will be the key, and the value will be only this person inside a list. So the output should be like this. Let me write the output. Group, we can say group equals to, 20, we have the age 25. It will have one object, which will be name and age, and secondly we will have 29, two objects, Emily and Robert, inside an array, right? Emily and Robert. And lastly we will have Peter, who is only 30. So the key will be 30 list and then this object, right? So that's what we're gonna achieve, right? How can we do this? We have to get the result and do people dot reduce, and we will use this time. We will use an arrow function, accumulator and current, and accumulator will be an object this time. So initially we have an empty object, right? So if we do not see the key or anything, current dot age not. Let me explain that in a moment. So we get this thing. So current is this object in the age 25. So initially we don't have anything in the object, so object is empty. We don't find this age 25 as the key. Then if that's the case, then we will simply insert this array, a new array at this position, key, an empty array, right? And when we come down here, we do current dot age dot push current, right? And simply return accumulator. So what will happen is that first time it will simply create a new array in this position 25. What's this? 25, yeah. And secondly it will say come here, is say age 29. It still can't find 29 as the key. So we'll insert a new array and push this object. So we have two objects, right? At two positions, 25 being the key and the value is this object, and 29 being the key and value being this object. Then we come to this part, we say 30, right? So it can't find 30, simply insert a new array into the key, which is 30, and then we'll come down here and we'll simply push this current objects having the age 30. And lastly we get this object Emily, and whose age 29. So it finds 29 already in the object, so it's not going to create a new array. We'll simply come down here and it will insert this current object inside this key, right? I mean in this list. And when we are done with the loop, it will return the accumulator, which is the object containing keys, containing ages as the keys and objects as values, list of objects as values, right? We can console log it. Array is not defined. What's the issue? Array dot reduce. All right, need to get rid of it for now. Sum of each element. Okay. Now that should do. Okay. 25 is the key and the value is a list of objects, and this list only contains one object because there's only one person whose age is 25. And secondly, 29 is the key and it contains a list of two objects having the same age, 29, right? And lastly we have 30 as the key and it contains a list of single objects because it doesn't have any other person having the same age, right? So that's how we can group using reduce. Now let's quickly learn how we can create our own reduce function. which is called a polyfill of reduce. So just like in previous example we did array.property, we will do this, and we're gonna do my reduce and function, and it will take a callback and accumulator, and we will simply do let I 0, I less than width or length, and we will do accumulator equal to callback, and we will call this callback on this current element and I, and finally return accumulator. Right, now let's take example nums equals to 2 3 4 5 7 8. Now we want to find the product of all these elements. How can we achieve this? We will do nums dot my reduce and accumulator current, and accumulator will be initially 1 because if you take 0 then the entire product will be 0 at the end. So we will simply do return accumulator into current, right, and store the result as the product, and console log it. 36, right, because it will be 2 4, we can check it here in the shell. Let me go node, let me do 2 into 4 into 5 into 7 into 9, it will be 2520, so we're getting the wrong output. Output is 36. It's working on num. What's the issue here? 1 into 2, we get this 2, then 3 4, we do 4 to the 8, 4 times 2 8, and 5 times 8 we get 40. Yeah, it should be greater than 36 already. Let me use this thing, the reduce regular function, and it will return now. It's fine. I think there's an issue with this code, right? Callback accumulator, calling this callback on current I, and are we taking this current accumulator or not? Yeah, it takes two arguments, current accumulator in addition to I. I is not necessary here, so we need to pass accumulator as well, right? Then it will work. Yeah, I just need to do this. Instead of reduce, I will do my reduce. Alright, same output as this one. Now it's working. So we were supposed to pass two arguments, this I and accumulator I. Yeah, we can pass I if you want to use it here, but for now we are not using it. So just focus on these two arguments. Right, that's how we can create our own reduce function, which is called polyfill of it. I hope you understood the concept. If you have any doubts, please let me know in the comment section.